as an aerospace engineer, I really want the UK to be leading in this type of clean technology development. I think the UK is really well placed, in terms of our heritage, our expertise, also our island geography, and the fact we can do things a little bit differently from the EU. We can capture a massive opportunity if we want to seize it. But I do think in order to be innovative with technology, we also need to be innovative with policy as well. I think something that's really interesting about zero carbon aircraft is the fact that we will need to fly a bit differently to begin with. There's kind of the potential to distribute benefits, both economic and social, more around the country. If you think about conventional air traffic and airport expansion, it's quite concentrated in some parts of the country. That means the economic benefits that there are quite concentrated. Also, the negative impacts in terms of air pollution and noise are very concentrated as well. So this is a way of kind of transforming that a bit while also improving some of these things. Just to give a kind of practical example, imagine we were in Liverpool today. Imagine being able to fly to Dublin, or from Glasgow to Belfast, or from Ipswich to Amsterdam in a zero carbon aircraft that doesn't just have low carbon emissions, but also it's fundamentally lower noise, lower air pollution for communities living under flight paths. As an aviation worker as well, aviation workers, particularly ground crew at airports, are more exposed to air pollution than anyone else. So this has got a direct health benefit to aviation workers as well. Just want you to think for a minute about the automotive industry in the UK that was once thriving. We've really lost out to China and the US there when it comes to electric cars. But the UK is actually still in a prime opportunity to lead when it comes to zero carbon aircraft and capture some of those high value, the R&D jobs, the engineering design, manufacturing, and ultimately operating the aircraft as well, and creating an export market where we can also sell to the rest of the world. But I think in order to do that, we do need some of the progressive environmental policies that some of the other panelists have talked to, in order to stimulate a market, because fundamentally it will be more expensive just competing against untaxed fossil fuel with aircraft that have been around for decades. So we need to create some sort of level playing field and have an initial market where airlines want to buy these aircraft to operate the initial routes. I think we mentioned private jets. Private jets are really interesting. Obviously, the airports that cater to them around the country are underutilised. And obviously the users of private jets have a greater capacity to pay and to be the early adopters of this technology. So I think policy that does something there is really interesting to talk about. So I think fundamentally this is the way that we can make aviation work for the economy. If we harness it to generate revenue by taxing the more polluting forms of air travel so that we can fund this new industry that's cleaner, greener and quieter. So yeah, I just think we need to lay these solid foundations and provide the supportive policies that can attract some startups like ZeroAvia and others to our shores to come here to trial, to test, and to operate those first zero carbon flights.